has been turned the right way out and it's been pressed, and I've put the pins in just to hold it flat so the two materials don't slip because they're very slippy, and I've neatened up the bottom edge of the yoke. Now we're going to attach the yoke to the skirt. I need to find the halfway point first. Doesn't have to be too accurate. 15, 19 and a half. So that is about halfway. I'm going to do the same to the skirt, to do an approximate measurement. Find the halfway point. It's 19. So that's about there. It's very awkward when you're doing half circles because this has now got to be attached going in that direction. So you find your halfway point on your yoke and your halfway point on your skirt, and that will be your starting point to start pinning it down. And then you work your way towards the side seams from the middle outwards. Just do a little bit at a time. Take the yoke as far as it will go. Don't worry about anything that's left over because that will be neatened up later on. And then you'll continue to pin the other side, and then will all be tacked again, all the layers together. Okay, we've now sewn on the yoke through all the layers. You'll find that the material all wants to stick up like this and it won't lay flat. So what you have to do is get a pair of scissors and then every so often cut very carefully, but not quite, up to the sewing line. About every 3 inches, that's about every 6 centimetres. All the layers. Like that. And now when the skirt is on you, all the layers will lay flat. I can now take out all the pins. They've kept it all together and stopped it from moving. Okay, for the next part we're now working on the back of the skirt to find out where the seam is going to be. So I've put the whole skirt on inside out, and I've pinned it onto Tracy. I've pinned it onto Tracy where the skirt will finish its closing, and then all the layers are going to be separate and sewn singly. So we've also got to work out how much gap we're going to need between there down to here so that she can get it on and off over her hips. So I pinned all the material together at one point, and then we tried to take it off to see how far down this pin needs to go so she can actually get it over her hips. So what I shall do now is taking every single layer on their own. The outer layer will be sewn to the outer layer, then the middle layer to the middle layer, and the inner layer to the inner layer, all separate layers. So that will be the next step. Okay, so now we have sewn up all the layers together at the back into one big seam, and I've made the seam allowance very wide, and then I've left that gap to allow for the skirt to be pulled up over the hips, so that when it goes on we put a piece of velcro on that side and a piece of velcro on the other side, and then when it's done up that gap will be filled, and that's the reason why you've got a deep seam so that you can't see anything if the skirt opens up.
Okay, do you want to keep go? That's the front.
We haven't cut up the front yet. First two layers will be completely cut, and then it will be overlocked on both sides, so the two front layers of the skirt will actually be open, and this is what the reverse will look like at the back. Quite wide.
Right, okay, just a very quick look at my petticoat, which is going to go underneath the skirt. I just elasticated the waist. It's just the easiest option. And then I added some ruffled net. I cut it at about like 15cm wide strips from top to bottom. I must have cut probably about 4 or 5 meters altogether. Then I sewed each strip onto the next, and then used a special ruffling foot on the machine to ruffle the net, and then just sewed it onto the bottom. And it's really stiff net, so it really sticks out, and it just helped give the dress skirt a bit of lift, because the fabrics on the purple skirt are like really heavy. Well, there we go, and I'll just show you the skirt, which we have now split down the middle, and I've painted around. Okay. And here is our almost finished skirt. I say almost because we've got the lace to put on the bottom, but this is more or less what it looks like at the front. We only sort of went to there, we didn't bother going all the way up. And what we had to do is sort of lay it on the floor. Well, she put it on me first, sort of tried to draw where it's going to lie on me, but it was a bit tricky, so I ended up putting it on the floor and drawing a straight line with the ruler and just cutting. It was just purely guesswork. Down here I've used, again I used my Dial-On fabric paint in purple, and then I got some sort of purpley, light purpley glitter, and again after painting I just literally sprinkled it on. But I will warn you, if you want to try this is like organza, two-tone or crystal organza, and as soon as you paint on it, it dries within like seconds. So literally I had to have my mum there, stood there with the glitter while I painted. She had to sprinkle it on straight away, so it had to be done so quickly. But it's not turned out too badly. And just sort of showing around the back here. And that's underneath the skirt. That's the Velcro fastening at the top of the skirt there. But there we go. So the next thing is, well, at the bottom of the skirt we put some pins because we've turned it up first just a little bit to near the edge, and I'll just show you what we're going to do with the lace. Here we go, is that same pink lace that I've used on the corset and on the sleeves. See, it comes in one giant trim onto that net we embroidered onto, and I've got loads and loads of it. I think I've done about 5 meters there to go around the bottom of the skirt, and I did trial it earlier to see if I have any left over, and I've got about two panels, 2 strips left over. So not too bad. And then that'll just be sewn onto the inside, like so there. And I'll go around right round the bottom of the skirt. So I'm just going to pin that on all the way around the bottom of the skirt on the inside, and then sew it on. And I'll be back afterwards. Right, here we go folks, it's all finished. Just take you for a quick tour. Just quickly before I forget, it's all my lace sewn on. Around the bottom of the dress. And over here is my wig. I'm just adding a few final flowers to now. I tried to sort of base it on their Disneyland version, but it was very difficult. Basically, I had to buy 3 wigs. I bought these Lady Godiva wigs, and on the original one, which is on top here, I had to have another one underneath, so I had to cut out the cap, so I was just left with the bottom of the wig, the net, and I sewed that net to the inside, which took hours, and then that would make my plait here a bit thicker. I still would like it thicker, but the weight of it is just too much. This is only just bearable, to be honest. Anyway, I got another wig and I've added it here. Like so.